rise up. I love my Africa. Rise up, I love your Africa. Rise up. We are one Africa.
Welcome. This is Africa's Young Entrepreneurs Clubhouse, and we are in our weekly assembly. Help me make welcome on stage the president and founder of Africa's Young Entrepreneurs, the largest entrepreneurship organization in Africa, Dr. Sumi Smart Francis.
Oh, Africa, rise up. I love my Africa. Rise up, I love your
Thank you so much, Miriam. Thank you so much for holding up the room together as usual. Thank you for always bringing that energy and that beautiful voice of yours. Just keeps us all together. A lot of people in life has lost a lot, just because they don't have that guts. The guts to ask, the guts to seek, the guts to find. They don't have it. They don't even understand the implication of losing opportunities. Somehow we think it's going to come again the next time. But I bet you, business opportunities are not like that. They are not like that. There are not many available lately. So every single opportunity you find, you need to take. I don't say so much, but I am so excited. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to just say a little bit about our keynote speakers, just give them a brief introduction. And I'll give them just about some few minutes, maybe 2 to 3 minutes, just for them to just tell us how to relate with today's topic, the shy entrepreneur. Firstly, I'm going to start with Stephen. Stephen Eugene Kuhn is a business advisory and consulting expert. He's the founder of Quality Life Expertise with a mission to ensure you to become an epic leader and dominate in life through personal alignment and integration. He's a leadership mentor, a coach, a keynote speaker, a decorated veteran, and an author. Guys, who else can do justice to this topic than a person who has been on the battleground, a person who has been in the military? I've never seen a shy soldier before. Every soldier that I know is very bold, and I am going to still relate to Stephen in that regard as well. But first, I just want to quickly just go to Stephen. Stephen, please just share a little bit about what you do with us quickly, and also how this topic today relates to you. Over to you, Stephen.
Hey, thank you very much, President. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me here. This is awesome. What a great subject matter. Okay, so everyone, my name is Stephen Eugene Kuhn. I'm an American, as you just heard, and I live in Hungary at the moment. I've lived in 9 countries, traveled the world, and had the fortunate opportunity to leave the military at the age of 27 and embark on a journey since 1996 as an entrepreneur. And as an entrepreneur, we typically start out with no real education. Sure, we can get, knowledge, but applied knowledge is where the real results come in. So, everyone starts sort of in the beginning, and in the beginning you are shy because you're not sure where you're going to go, right? So that's pretty much my journey. And I ended up having an amazing life, worked for people like Mick Jagger, the European Union, NASDAQ listed companies, PLCs from the UK, PLC from South Africa, and just a wonderful place. But it all came down to one thing. I always ask for help. And that's what I want to talk about today, my friends.
Wow. I always ask for help. Stephen, I don't know how to ask for help. I struggle with that a lot. And I'm pretty sure that, I'm going to get a lot from this. Now I'm going to move. Tony Rodriguez is an entrepreneur. He's a founder of Get Up and Grow Movement. He's a chief visionary officer of Nourish Me. He's a mindset mentor and an agent of change. He is a keynote speaker and also a certified high performance strategist, a realtor with 30 years of experience, an investor, a podcaster, and a show host. Now, if you look at this guy very well, everything packed here is a person that is never shy. 30 years, realtor, these guys would knock every doors and make things happen when it comes to properties and real estate. Podcaster, talk show host, this man is never shy. How has he been doing it? You're going to hear that for ourselves today. African entrepreneurs, I introduce you all to Tony Rodriguez. Tony, please share with us, how does today's topic relate with you?
Well, thank you so much for the invitation and for being here. I really wish I had gone before Stephen, because I'll tell you, to follow Stephen is not easy. But good to hear you, Stephen. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to be here and learn from you as well. As you were saying, there's a lot that I can say to this subject as well. And I'll say that, I was a shy kid until my 18th birthday. really shy. I had only a handful of friends. I was afraid of my own shadow and everything else. But I had an awakening when on my 18th birthday, I died in a car accident. So I decided that, well, unfortunately, I didn't die. Yet I did have that experience that everybody hears about, an outer body experience and what have you. So, and I'll just fast forward that because that's not the story I'm going to share today. I will say that when I came to and I healed, I realized that that day I died and I have another opportunity to be here. And shy wasn't working for me. I would have died without having lived. I would have died without having experienced life, without having tasted life, without having really made a difference, right? So my goal became to not be shy, to go out and do what needs to be done, to have my voice heard, to share the experiences. And if I was going to die tomorrow, I would live to living. I started going out and I got into real estate at 18, despite, many adversities, which again, that's a whole nother story as well. And I realized that shy, like I said, wasn't working for me. So you just got to step out of your comfort zone, because that's where all of your growth lies, on the other side of your fear. I have a friend that says this: every day I wake up and die to the me of yesterday, because every day is an opportunity to start anew.
Every day I die to wake up again for a new me. I'm so excited because as well we've got Christina in the room, African entrepreneurs. In 1 minute, I'm going to like Christina to just tell us a little bit about herself and how this topic relates to.
I am a U.S. Army retired. I have a nonprofit organization inspiring youths on a mission to success. I'm excited today for the topic, the shy entrepreneur. And I think Stephen said that he was shy once before. I was too. I was shy once before, all through school, high school. And when I entered the military, I think that shyness went away. It had to have gone away for me to get through the military, I think. And I'm excited for today, excited for the guest speakers. And I'm definitely going to stay on to the end so that I can be a student today. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So guys, we're going to get into the business of today. I'm going to start with Stephen. Yeah. Because, you published a book on Unleash Your Humble Alpha. And I want you to relate this topic to that book. What content in that book relates to this topic? Or what from that book can we extract? Every entrepreneur in this room, I prescribe that book. We've got to all get a copy of that book. But I want Stephen to just relate or just bring out an extract from that book that relates to this topic.
Thank you so much. Look, the Unleash Your Humble Alpha is about one thing. It's about owning your presence in life and becoming the epic leader that you're already meant to be. Everything you need is already inside of you. I think, I'm not one of those fluffy motivational guys. So excuse me if I don't get all, fluffy and stuff. I like the tactics. I like to direct down tangible results. So I'm going to tell you this. Until you know exactly who you are as an identity, like who am I really, you will never find your clear purpose. And until you have your clear purpose, you don't have that vision. Right? You don't have that full-on vision. We all have visions. We all have had, we've done a million things, or we've, done well. You can do very, very well. But until you have your identity, your purpose will not crystallize in front of you, and you won't be able to amplify your true presence. Right? Now, what does that mean? Why am I talking about amplifying presence when we're talking about shy people? Because this is a simple fact. Everyone in here has been in a room with their back to the door, and someone walks in and you feel it. That's someone who owns their presence because they know who they are and they know their purpose. And so if you're shy and you work on yourself and your inner dialogue, like Tony was talking about, turning negative into positive, turning problems into solutions, and you know who you are and your ability to deploy your talents to navigate anything that the universe brings to you, then when you walk into a room, you don't even have to say a word, because your presence will speak for you. So that's the first step that I would go on about saying the book would bring to this part of the discussion. Because what's easier for a shy entrepreneur, to speak or not to speak, right? Be there with your presence, own your presence, and you will become the epic leader that you're always meant to be.
In your presence, and you become the epic leader you want to be. Oof, yeah, your presence. Yeah, yeah. Knowing yourself, of course, gives you all the confidence. There's just this feeling, I can agree with you, Stephen, that when you know yourself, you know what you're capable of, you know what you're made of, you know what is inside of you and what is outside of you and what can come out of you. There's always that confidence that comes out. And, I know that. And I'm going to pass this puzzle to Tony. Tony, I speak a lot. I can speak, but I can't ask. What am I? Please define me, Tony. What am I? Over to you, Tony.
Well, I'll just share a story with you all that, and then you can decide what it is. I'm a person growing up. I was always a giver because I was a shy kid. I grew up in an abusive household, which really lent to the shyness component of it, right? So I was a really shy kid growing up. So I was that people pleaser. Always wanted to make everyone happy, make everybody laugh, because to feel connected. Because I didn't want to what you said before. Actually, I think Stephen said it. It's that fear of rejection, which is why people become the people pleaser. So I've been doing this for years, and I am a recovering people pleaser, as the saying goes. But I still do that on a regular basis. So I had somebody call me, and again with the personal development, I've been doing this for years. I had somebody call me probably 3 years ago, and I remember exactly where I was. I live on a couple of acres, and I remember exactly where I was on all that space when this conversation took place, because they called me and they said, "Hey Tony, thank you so much for helping me out with that." I helped them through a pretty big, significant challenge. And I'm like, it's no big deal. Don't worry about it. He's like, no, seriously, thank you. I couldn't have done it. I said, dude, it's really no big deal. He said, stop it. I'm like, stop what? I said, you're being an ass. I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, I'm trying to give you a compliment and you're deflecting it. I'm like, man, you're right. I'm sorry. I didn't, I was just kind of making light of it. I said, you're right. I apologize. I'm happy. I was happy that I was able to help. And he says, but I was at that time, I was still going through a significant challenge of my own. And he says, how can I help? What can I do to help you? Let me help you. I know you're going through something difficult. I said, no, nothing, man. It's all good. No big deal. And he's like, stop, you're being an ass again. I'm like, what are you talking about? He says, because I'm offering you help. I said, but what are you talking about? He says, well, you know how, when you help someone, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel good. You get the hit of dopamine. You get all those feel good chemicals that makes you feel good. And that's why you help people. I says, yeah, that's certainly a big part of it. He says, so why are you trying to deprive me of it? Ooh, that hurt. I'm like, man, I hadn't thought of it that way, because when someone offers you help and you don't take it, you're depriving them of how it feels, and that feel good chemical, so to speak, that dopamine hit that they would get for helping you. And then it went a little further. It says, not only that, but when you do that, you're blocking the blessings. It was like a lightning bolt. It says you block the blessings of the people that would help you, the blessings that would come to them for having helped you. You're blocking their blessings, and that was like a lightning bolt. Boom. And I'm like, wow, I never looked at it that way. So I'd encourage you to not only accept help when it's offered, because otherwise you're blocking their blessings and you're taking something from them potentially, right? Ask for help when you need it, because if you need help and you're not asking for it, not only are you depriving that person of that thing, but you're holding yourself back from where it is that you really could be going if you only ask. And again, this is something that I'm also getting better at. We're all a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time, right? So we're always continuing to grow through it. But that's I guess the story that I would share to that. Now, what are you? I don't know. I guess you're being a little shy. I would certainly encourage you to not only ask for help, but accept the help that's being offered, because often we're offered help and we don't take it, and then we say, oh, but nobody ever helps me. Well, they offer, but if you don't take it, that's on you. So remember that, often we ask, we pray and we ask for help, and then we neglect to accept the help that's coming to us. And not to take too much more time, but I'll offer another story that maybe perhaps some have listened to. There was a pastor in a church, and a big storm was coming, and all over the radio and TV, everyone is saying, you've got to leave. Everybody's got to leave because of we're expecting a big rainstorm and everybody's going to get flooded out. But yet the pastor said, no, I'm going to stay. A cop car comes by and says, Pastor, you've got to leave because the storms are coming and you're going to get washed away. He says, no, the Lord will provide. So it keeps raining. Now a fire truck comes by because the cop car couldn't even come. It says, Pastor, you've got to come now because the storm it's coming, and it's so much rain. The dams are going to burst. No, the Lord will provide. It gets worse. Now he's on the second floor of the house of the building. There's water everywhere. A boat comes by and says, Pastor, we've got to go now because if you don't go now, you're certainly not going to make it. The Lord will provide. And it just gets worse. And now the levees break and there's water. Now he's on the roof with his hands up and a helicopter comes by and says, Pastor, this is your last chance. You must come now. And he says, no, the Lord will provide. Sure enough, he dies. And he gets in front of St. Peter and says, I'm really upset at God. I really want to talk to God. I'm really upset. And so he says, this happened. I gave my life to him. I supported him and he left me in my hour of need. So he's asking God, why did you leave me in my hour of need? And he turns to him and says, what do you want? I sent you a cop car, a fire truck, a boat, and a helicopter. Moral of the story, accept the help when it shows up. Sometimes we're selfish in the way of not accepting help is what that means. And again, because if it stops you from growing into that next version of you and from stepping into that next level, then how many more people can you help if you get there faster, right? And so often God, the universe, whatever you believe in, the Creator, puts people in your life to help just as the challenges are put to force you to grow. And sometimes we need help to get over those hurdles and over those challenges. And perhaps it's someone in this room right now that can help you, Sami, or help anybody else. I always say that, everyone we meet knows something we don't. So let's just keep our minds open.
Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you so much for your elaborate response to that riddle I threw to you, and how you just expatiated it with those two stories that I'm pretty sure that African entrepreneurs are relating to it. I am going into a little bit of this whole shy entrepreneur thing because I must say that it's affecting a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot. And the reason why I'm very clear about the implications of today's topic is because I'm a victim. I've been a victim for very many years. I could do everything, but asking is one thing I can never do. And will I say fortunately or unfortunately for me, I was recently appointed as a special advisor in the government. And when I got into government, somebody said to me, you know what, in government, you can't be shy. There is no shyness. There's nothing like that. I'm like, really? Yeah, because in government, people would say all sorts of things about you, either good or bad or anything. You must come out there and speak. If you decide to shut your mouth, you're going to be in a deep mess. And I realized that in government, you put your shyness at home. You just come and you face everything. And that has become a part of me right now that I'm beginning to explore. And I must say this to everyone listening to me tonight, that the fact that we are scared of that no and we don't want to get that no. But the truth is, in the midst of that no, there comes the yeses. So begin to understand it this way, that the more no's you get, the possibilities of your yes. So the more no's you get, your yes is on its way. That is just the way you should say it. So every time you ask for help and there's that rejection coming in, there should be that smile that, yes, I'm closer to my yes. And I bet you would be so surprised that you have sieved out so many no's, and the next thing only available for you, brothers and sisters, is a yes. So I tell you, that works amazingly for me. And I just want to go down to Christina. And the reason why I want to go to Christina on this issue is before I come to Stephen, right? I'm going to go to Christina, and I want to use a lady as an illustration right now. And Christina is a woman. I know she's going to give us a feminine response to this. Let me share a story with you. Today, before I was leaving for the airport, I got to the shopping mall and I had to just do some quick shopping. This last minute shopping. And while I was at the mall, a friend of mine called me and he's like, hey brother, I heard you around in the country, can I see you? I'm like, yeah, of course, let's connect, bro. Very, very close friend of mine. So I'm like, yeah, let's connect. And he came to the mall, and yes, we were busy connecting, like giving each other hugs, and we were so excited. And this beautiful lady walked past, like very beautiful lady. Now, guess what my friend did? I have the video because I recorded him. He ran, like running. This is like an Olympic race. Like, I've seen people approach ladies, but I've never seen a man
run after a lady like that. He ran and he was panting, and I chased him with the phone because I wanted to capture this moment. Amazingly, I didn't even think about today's topic, but right now it's beginning to make sense. And he stopped her, and without boldness, without race, and he just went on into whatever he wants to say. Finally, he got the number, and I'm sure he's going to connect with her later. Christiana, from a woman's point of view, there's a lot of men out there. Just for them to even ask a lady on a date, a lot of people have missed their wives. They've missed their life partner just because they couldn't. They couldn't. Now, I'm going to ask you this. How does a woman feel when you encounter such a man who is not even confident about himself enough, or who you can see that this is my man, but he cannot even just project himself? Now, after you've answered that, you now take that same question to transforming it into business. How do you relate to business in such a way, especially people in sales, that you can then run to a customer like that and then begin to talk? Christina, I hope I'm making sense to you. Can you please follow this analogy and then give us some nuggets on that? Over to you, Christina.
Yes. Okay. So first I would say that a closed mouth does not get fed. So if we want something, we have to ask for it. The answer is always no if we don't ask, right? And so I would like to also say that based off what you said, the more no's you get, a yes is on the way. And so we have to get used to the no's in order to get the yes. And so there's always a blessing on the other side. So just keep going, keep going, keep going. And so if your friend did not ask, if he didn't run and ask that lady for her number, then he wouldn't have gotten it. And who knows, when he calls her, he may get what he's looking for. You never know. And he wouldn't have known if he hadn't gotten the number. And so with the business, it's the same way. We have to ask. We have to open our mouths to ask, because like I said, closed mouths don't get fed. And so when people tell us no, they're not directly think about it this way. They're not directly saying no to us. They are saying no to what we have to offer. They're saying no to the opportunity, whatever that thing is. And so that's what I would like to say around that. So hopefully that'll help someone.
Yeah, well, I hate to sound arrogant, but I don't get no's. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't ask just anyone. So this is my secret to success. And success is relative. Everyone measures it differently. For me, wealth, abundance are my thoughts lived out. So that to me is abundance. And that's how I live. And one of the reasons that I don't get any no's, I might get a maybe, but I don't get any no's, is because I seek out who I ask. First of all, I look, okay, who's been there and done that, what I want to do? Who's gone and done the things that I want to do? Who's done that one thing that I want to do? And I want to find the one person out of maybe 20, 30, 50, 100 people. And I do that by asking my network, speaking around, doing some research, doing background checks, whatever I can do on Google and LinkedIn and everything else. And then I find that person. I've written, you know how I worked for Mick Jagger? I walked up to him and said, I'm your new guy. You know how I started working for Andrea Bocelli? I walked up to him and said, I'm your new guy. But I could have never said that if I didn't know what they needed. I could have never have done that if I didn't know what kind of problems they have, challenges they have, and then I could provide a solution for them. You see, when you ask someone for something and you're offering something in return as a solution, they can't say no. It would be foolish to say no. And this is the trick. When you walk up to them, you have zero expectations, no cookie cutter solutions, no preconceived notions, and you focus on the only thing that you can control in a conversation. That's the intention of adding value by solving their problems. Once you start focusing on the outcome, they're going to feel that shift in energy. They're going to feel that you're trying to sell something or get something. So when you focus on the intention, there's no pressure at all. We call that creating space. So research the people that you want to speak. So find out what it is you want to do. Research the people that have been there. Find the one person that you can relate to the most and know that they have issues, problems, and that maybe they're from the same town as you. Find something that is parallel in your both worlds, and you will get a yes every time.
Bless you, Stephen. Bless you. Oh my God. There was a way he dropped the... Oh my God. Did you guys hear that? I'm so... Oh my God. There's a way he broke that part down, and I'm so excited that we've got you recorded. I am so excited about that because I cannot repeat what you said. But have you ever gone through that where you cannot repeat the message, but you got the message?
Oh
That's what I'm
yeah,
feeling right now.
happens all the
I,
time.
I got the message, bro. I got it. And I think, yeah, that's why you've not been getting those. Guys, did you hear that? African entrepreneurs, every successful person overcomes shyness. Every successful person. That's one thing people don't know. They'll be like, but I know a billionaire or a successful man in business who is still shy. I'll tell you something. You see, it's either you overcome shyness now or you overcome it when you become successful. Go find out. Every player out there that is doing big numbers, if even after making all that money, is now doing public speaking. How can I speak in public? How can I? You know what I'm talking about. He's now going through what he should have gone through right now that some of us are going through. So either you do it now or in future, because they know that even when you are successful, even when you've made it in life and in business, that shyness, you still need to overcome it. Because that is even the time you need to speak more in public. You need to inspire people more. You need to be a motivation to a lot of people. So you've got to. I don't want to call names of big players globally, but some of these guys that 5 years ago they couldn't even talk at all. But look at them today. They are facing the panel. They are facing the Senate. They are facing doing live conversations. It's because they have no choice. So guys, it's either you do it now or you do it 25 years from now. You need to overcome shyness. And you know what? I'm going to go to Tony. And Tony's going to share with us something. I want to know, how can entrepreneurs build business confidence? How? Stephen is giving out a little bit of tips around it. But Tony, brother, I need you to come in here and just tell us, are you going to get the confidence from your business, from your services, from your product, or the business confidence has it got to do with you? You yourself, it's got nothing to do with your business at all. Please shed some light and some nuggets into this, brother. Over to you.
Well, Stephen just said some amazing things, and he's 100% on point. Is making sure that you know your audience and you know who it is that you're going to go speak to. There's something that Jim Rohn had made popular, but I'm sure it was probably said way before him, and it was because growing up we all heard the different things. At least I'm American as well, but I grew up in Portugal, so I take a lot of the things I heard growing up as a kid in Portuguese and I translate them. But they're, I think, around the world they're the same. Birds of a feather flock together. If you lay down with dogs, you get fleas. And these days, what's more in vogue is you become the average of the 5 people you spend time with. Now, how does that come into play? That comes into play because if you're surrounding yourself with the right people, as Stephen said, who's the person that's doing what it is that you want to do? Surround yourself with some of those people. Bring them into your periphery. Because again, we find comfort among those who agree with us. We find growth in those who don't, and we find growth among those who are doing what it is that we want to do that we haven't gotten to yet. So a big part of it is surrounding yourself with the right people that are going to inspire you and that are going to challenge you to be and do more. And so you'll get a little confidence right there by being surrounded by the right people. Surround yourself with the right people, not just those who you're comfortable with. Something that I often say is that if you look around your circle and the people in your circle aren't pushing you, aren't challenging you to reach higher, to get outside of your comfort zone and to do more than what you're doing, then you don't have a circle at all. You have a cage. You have the people that are trying to hold you back and keep you down from expanding and growing. So in order to grow, you've got to expose yourself. You've got to put yourself out there and start doing the things that need to be done. The other thing that's really important is the words that we speak. The two most important words in any language is I am, eu sou, je suis. Whatever language, I don't know how to say it in all languages of the world, but I know how to say it in several, because the words that follow I am follow you. So if you believe that you can, if you believe that you will, the words you speak, people more often than not beat themselves up like, I can't do that. I'm not smart enough. I'm too young. I'm too old. I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. I don't have the education. I was born to the wrong people. I was whatever it is that I am not enough. I am this. Just by changing the words that we use, like I am capable, I am worthy, I am successful, I am going to accomplish, I'm going to just speak those words out loud. speak yourself into the person that you want to become. More often than not, people speak themselves into who they don't want to be because they say all those negative words. Remember that the words you use become the house you live in, right? The words that we use become our reality. So it's really about choosing a different mindset, different thought patterns, and yes, different words that we use, because the words we use will either empower you or they will disempower you. They will either strengthen that inner warrior or they will knock that inner warrior out. Because if you're walking into a meeting and says, oh man, it's probably not going to work. Who the hell am I to be here? Guess what? That's going to shine through in insecurity. That's going to shine through in lack of confidence. And again, as Stephen said, he walked up to them. He already knew what it is that they needed, what was missing, and he knew that he could supply that. So you've got to approach things with confidence in saying those words, because my friends, there is no luck. I mean, there may be a little luck here and there, but more often than not, luck is nothing more than opportunity meeting preparedness. The best way to get ready is to stay ready. Be ready for that opportunity. Be prepared to take that on. Be prepared to meet Mick Jagger. Be prepared to meet Andrea Bocelli and have that and know what it is, who you are, so that you can step into that and seize that opportunity. Because opportunity, my friends, does indeed knock on everybody's door. Are you the person that's going to open the door, or are you the person that, knock on the door and you just turn off the lights and everybody's quiet as a mouse? Or are you the person that, 3 people, let's say another story, because I do that a lot. This one will be short. 3 people living in a building right next to each other. Somebody knocks, opportunity knocks on one guy's door, turns off the lights, make believe they're not home. Knocks on the second door, and they say, we don't want any, go away. Knocks on the third door. The person in the third door opens the door, listens to the opportunity, and lo and behold, takes the opportunity, is wildly successful. You know what happens? He goes on to be successful. The other 2 says, oh, lucky bastard. He's always lucky. Everything happens to him. I wish I had that opportunity. Pay attention to the opportunities when they come, and be ready when they do come around, because they're everywhere. But you've got to be prepared to grab it.
I want to add to that real quick. The opportunities are things that you receive, right? Opportunities you receive, right? Opportunities aren't something you go out there and grab. And to be able to receive those, you have to be aware that they're out there. This is my issue with hustle and grind. For me, hustle and grind are 2 words that someone made up to make you feel good about working way too much. So if you have your head to the grindstone, what are you looking at? You're looking at the grindstone, aren't you? You're not going to see those opportunities out there that are being presented to you for you to receive. So be careful that you're focusing your attention on what needs to get done. But your view is macro of what's going on around you. So you have all those opportunities that you can receive. You see all those opportunities that you can receive.
Stephen, I love that you said that. Sorry for jumping in here, Simi. I love that you said that, because and we're all obviously part of the same community, the Rise and Grind. I've never really liked that word grind, because if you think about grinding, think about putting salt or stones on your skin and grinding. It hurts. It's uncomfortable. I don't want it to be a grind. Life's a grind. I don't want it to be a grind. I want it to be in flow. I want it to feel good. And now hustle is a good word, but I remember back in the day, you and I are actually, I might be a little older than you, but hustle used to be a bad word. When you called somebody a hustler, they were a con man. They were
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think Gary Vee made the term hustle popular again, but I'm not a fan of either hustle or grind, even though I do both. Yeah. But
hustle and grind. All right, let's get it out now. You said it. I'm 54. How old are you?
Oh, you know what? All right. Well, damn. You know what?
Okay.
Are you shy?
I'll be 50 in 4 months.
How old are you?
I'm 49.
I'll take that as a compliment, brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you should, because listen, if you guys don't know Steven, make sure you follow him. Check him out on Instagram. He makes me feel better every time I see him exercising.
Okay.
Tony, bless you, man. The word that follows I am follows you. We hear that loud and clear. The word you use becomes the house you live in. Yes, how do you build confidence? That was the question to Tony. And he's been able to just elaborate on that, on telling us even on how we use the words and our expectation of what we see ahead of everything. Now, I'm going to go to Stephen. I'm going to just return to Stephen quickly. Yeah,
I was going to say, Sumi, I didn't hear that question in that way. Could I just add to the confidence piece a little bit more? But I'll go after self-confidence. is rather simple. Again, using not a parable, but something that I use to explain things. If I said to you or to Foyen that it said, I'm going to be there at 2:00 and I don't show up at 2:00 for this meeting or another meeting. And then I say, listen, I'm sorry, I have to wash my hair or whatever. And then I said, but I'll be there tomorrow at 2:00. And tomorrow at 2:00 I don't show up again. I give you another excuse. And I tell you, no, listen, but on Monday, I promise I'll show up at 2:00. Whether I show up or not, what's happened? Your confidence in me has eroded. So you've lost confidence in me. So you no longer believe me. There's no confidence. Well, here's the thing. More often than not, people actually keep their promises to other people, but don't keep them to themselves. Case in point, people make New Year's resolutions. Oh, I'm going to lose 30 pounds. I'm going to go to the gym every single day. And they make all these promises to themselves, and then they break them. And while it's important for you to keep your word and your promise to other people, it's even more important for you to keep the promises you make to yourself, the commitments you make to yourself. Because every time you say, I'm not going to eat that donut, and not only do you eat that donut, you eat the two next to them as well. Or I'm not going to do this, and you do it, and you break the promises you made to yourself. Guess what? You may justify that to yourself, but your subconscious is listening. So before you know it, every time you go, I'm going to do this, your subconscious says, bullshit, because you're saying, I'm going to do this, and your subconscious says, no, you're not. And that's why you feel you don't have self-confidence, because you've lied to yourself so many times. You've broken those promises to yourself so many times that you've lacked the confidence. Now, fortunately, all is not lost. You can regain that confidence by making commitments and keeping them. Keeping the commitments to others. Start keeping the commitments to yourself. But that means you don't say, I'm going to lose 30 pounds. That means today I'm not going to have that cookie. Today I'm going to have a glass of water instead of another beer or a soda or whatever it is. So I call it making micro commitments. Make those micro commitments to yourself. Start to honor yourself and honor those commitments, and your self-confidence will start to reboot and it'll start coming back. But the key to that is keep the promises to others. More importantly, keep the promises you make to yourself. So there you go. There's a more complete answer to your question.
Damn. I'm so glad. I allowed you to go in there, because for me, this is a revelation. Honestly, it's a revelation. And I'm speaking on behalf of African entrepreneurs globally. This is going to go on our platforms, and I'm going to, be passing the feedbacks to you, what you just said, because it's a revelation. I've never heard that before. And it's like you just diagnosed me. I speak as a pillar, as a representation for African entrepreneurs. I speak on behalf and for them. And I can tell you what you just said relates to a lot of things that I'm just beginning to say. Oh, I said I was going to see that man. I said I was going to have that deal. I said I was going to ask today. But when I saw the man, I couldn't speak. And the second time I said, I'm going to ask tomorrow, and I couldn't speak. I made the third person I said I was going to ask. Then my subconscious is like, bullshit to me. You can only speak on the stage. You can never speak when it's one-on-one. So I've seen this. And now that you've done this to me, I'm going to go back and consult with myself and say, hey, I'm changed, bro. I spoke to Tony. He opened my eyes. And henceforth, whatever I say I will do. Thank you, Tony. Bless that revelation. Why do we need to be bold as entrepreneurs? Why do we need to be confident in our business, in ourselves? And even when approaching others, be it an investor, it's direct sale. Even our employees or our employer. Why, Stephen? Why?
Because your life depends on it. Life that you want to live depends on it. The life that you dream of depends on it. The life of your family, of the ones that you love, depends on it. I can go into philosophy and why and this, that, and the other. But in the end, that's it, isn't it? What is it that you want in life? And you go after that like nobody's business. And you make it yours. And you do it by focusing on what you're adding and not what you're getting. If you focus on the intention, and in our book, Unleash Your Humble Alpha, we talked about that all the time. If you focus on the intention, you're free of any pressure of closure, of what it is that you want to sell or what it is that you want to achieve. You simply focus on the intention, and you take imperfect action at the very first thought of it, and you create as you go. And the cool thing about creation is when you're in this mode of focusing on the intention, the other person, the other people, the other groups, your staff members, your employees, They co-create with you something wonderful and amazing that you alone could never create. So this will build, look, we all have a dream, right? We all have a dream. What is stopping you? You're stopping you. Fear may be stopping you. Fear is only thoughts. Fear is not real, right? When we realize we're thinking about it in the future haven't even happened yet. So what are we scared of? Take imperfect action, create as you go. Focus on the intention, and you'll be well on your way to success, to fulfillment, and to the life of your dreams. Because honestly, your life depends on it.
There's somebody out there waiting for you to take action. Love that, Stephen.
Yes, based off what Stephen just said, very powerful, always powerful, actually. Whose life is attached to our dream? Because we're doing what we're doing for a reason. Everyone is doing what they're doing for a reason. Everyone received that vision, that dream, whatever was placed in the spirit from God for a reason. And so, always remember your why. Always remember your why. Why do we do what we do? There's a reason for it. There's a strong purpose behind it. And so there are people in the world, there are others in the world that we are assigned to. There are others in the world that are assigned to us, right? And so God actually, put people in our path in order to bless us, in order to send, bring messages to us, in order to, really deliver us from some things. But we have to be aware of when those people are actually placed in front of us, right? And so always remember why we started things. Always remember, the people that we have in our path that we may not look up to, or we may not think a whole lot about. Perception is a big thing, right? And so we have to look at the people that are in front of us that, that God may send to us, that may have a message or may have something that God wants us to get from that person. So I would just like to say, be conscious, be aware of who's in front of us, and always remember your why. Always remember your why, because that why is attached to somebody else. And so that's what I have to share.
I just have to thank all speakers, thank every brothers on stage, every sisters on stage. You guys have not just done justice to the topic. You've released a lot of, open our eyes to a lot of revelations, and it's been a great blessing to have you all in this room. I am very moved by your impact. I'm very moved by your contributions, and I just want to add on to what you guys have said as we round up this session. And I'm gonna just confront a lot of brothers and sisters in the room who are into business and who must have been like I am, and you're wondering what's happening to you, Sumi. Are you still the same person? Yeah. Let me just help you understand this. I'm changed. What I did was played a trick on you. I gave you a version of my former self, the shy Sumi, and you believed it. You thought I was still shy. I'm sure you can hear from the sound of my voice, this doesn't sound like a shy person. I can ask any goddamn person anything. And that's because I built myself. I focused on the vision. I changed everything, and I just looked at what Stephen said. The intention gave me the boldness that I needed. And that's what I did. I'm going to show you 4 of the things that I did when I met people, when I engaged with people. Because, of course, yes, especially some of us who are givers and generous to a fault, we don't believe in receiving, like Tony said. But don't even be shocked when somebody wants to give us something back, or when we get appreciated. Most people that work with me know I hate surprises and I don't like gifts. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just weird like that. I believe I'm the one that's supposed to give. But I don't understand, like Tony just said, that I'm also depriving some people of their own blessings of giving. And at the same time, some people need to give some particular people to be blessed. So it's very connected to their own destiny as well. Why did I have to then deprive them of such opportunity? So I allowed it. I started changing gradually. One of the things I did, number one, African entrepreneurs, is that I shifted my focus. Yes, shift your focus. When you meet people and you want to engage with them genuinely, remove that focus from yourself. from your request. Be curious about them. Be curious about what they do. Be curious about their lifestyle, their platform, their innovations, their life, the family. When you engage them and they see that genuine interest in them, they open up to you. And that's that stage you get a very comfort level for a conversation to begin. Now, when that conversation begins, the second thing you need to do is elaborate on your response. I know a lot of shy people came into this room particularly because of this topic. So you need to know this trick. Elaborate on your response. Somebody asks you something, don't you dare give one answer. I remember something. Let me just laugh with you guys for a minute. As a teenage guy, I was going to the American embassy. A friend of mine told me something. When you get into the embassy, you know what? You've got to be bold. You've got to do this when they ask you this. Sorry, I kind of laugh. I'm just remembering my life as a teenager. Oh my God. But then I'm just remembering how I was then. He was prepping me, this young folk of mine. He has been there, denied 3 times the American visa, and he's the one prepping me to say, you know what, you need to do this. And then said something. He said something so funny, but so profound. He said, when he asks you one question, give 3 answers. So when they say to you, why are you visiting in the United States? Be like, oh, I'm going to the United States because I want to see my brother in New York because I'll be staying in his house, and from there we're going to be going to Chicago, and then we've got some things to do in Chicago, and then we will be returning in 7 days. Now, what did I do? I've just told the interviewer that where I'm visiting, and when I'm coming back. and it's like it works like magic. Okay, I didn't do that. Luckily for me, the first time I got my American visa, I just got there. Luckily, they already know who I was because I've managed to build my name and my reputation, and I wasn't even interviewed. But then that trick, it's useful for you when you meet people. Do not give one answers. Elaborate on your responses. When they ask you something, add 1 or 2 lines to it to keep the conversation flowing. That's one way to break that shyness. Even with your customers, your investors, your partners, break it down. Put 3 more things to the question that has been given to you. Thirdly, be a storyteller. You could see that from Tony. You could pick it up. It's given us already 3 to 4 stories tonight that we really enjoyed. And that's because that then helps you. That really helps you to get the attention of those people. Everyone loves stories, especially when it's a true and a genuine one that has got a lot of lessons to learn from it. People will then begin to lose their guard, and when you then begin to find them in that atmosphere where they are now comfortable with you, I can assure you that there might be an opportunity, like Stephen said, for you to get that yes. But the 4th thing that I tried and I always do is be present. Be present. People can tell when you're not present in a meeting. They can tell when you're not present. Everybody in my team know that when we have our board meeting, I do what we call eye contact. Keep your eyes on that person. Keep your eyes on that speaker. Like we're looking at our clubhouse right now. I'm looking at every one of y'all. I'm gazing my eyes on y'all. I'm looking at you, and I can sense the fact that you're looking at me back. You're looking at that icon, that thing flashing around my picture. I can bet you guys are looking at me because I feel it. That's the same way it is, bro. That's the same way it is, sisters. When in your conference, in a meeting, even if the person is talking garbage, just keep looking at that person, eye contact, be present, and that person would feel you. They would appreciate the fact that you are engaging with their words. And at that time, when it's your time for you to contribute, they will give you their attention. Of course, you need their attention before your request can be granted. Lastly, African entrepreneurs, accept every outcome, because every outcome is useful for you. Like I said earlier, in the midst of the no's, come the yes. So even when the person says a no, I won't be able to attend your meeting. I won't be able to speak on your platform. I won't be able to partner with you this time. I won't be able to buy your product. Just say yes. I've taken one no off the way. There's a yes closer to me. I thank you all, everyone, for joining this room tonight.